Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Common Good Podcast. August 12th. Made me think of August Rush. Remember that movie, August Rush?
No.
Oh, boy, you're ready for a heart warmer. Oh, my gosh. In the Stand By Me category of feel-good films. Shelley, my wife, you've met her. Shelley loves it. In fact, when a song gets played, if I play one or if one gets played somehow, and it's got like nice little finger picking sound to it, she's like, "Oh, that reminds me of August Rush." You know, that's one of my favorite movies. She does it all the time. It's really cute. I don't care for it as much as some people do because I don't like films.
Whoa.
I don't like.
Wow. For people who
saw
are wow. We have been on this podcast less than 2 minutes, and
Hello, Heather.
for those maybe watching on different channels or listening to the audio, someone just posted a book of a comment. Like they were just
Thank you, Heather. Thank you for your. We'll take a minute and read it. But hey, it's what we want. People are ready to go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Heather was just teed up and just copy and paste that thing, and boom.
Yeah, I love it. I love a good. You're prepped. I hope that was Heather. I hope that was like a Facebook post. We'll find it later as well. Heather Cox Friends with a big post there. Look, when you put up a title that catches people where they're living, the fear that the authoritarian Donald Trump is going to use the military to take over cities, and decided to name a few others after the two that he already sent military troops into. The man is militarizing the American dream. We'll get to that fella in a minute.
Yeah.
Back to August Rush.
Yeah.
I don't like films that star children.
This is a hot take.
Like if there's a kid playing a bit role,
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Does this include like holiday movies? Are you
all of them? I mean, look, if it's one child, like us, like Home Alone, you know, it's clearly in the can't do it category for me because it's really about the child.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's the kid who is home alone.
Yes, he's doing Home Alone.
Yeah.
I think it should be about the parents who left him. Home Alone.
Yeah. Totally.
I don't know. I don't prefer child actors. I'm not saying that they're not good actors.
A little piece of trivia: when she flies back from France and lands at the only flight back from Paris that she can get, his mother, and she ends up in a.
Oh, you're talking about the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Okay.
And ends up in a a rented U-Haul or something with a polka band. The airport she flies into, Scranton Avoca Airport I had been to because I went to
your home
in Scranton.
Did that come out around the time you were in college, or did you have enough? It was still in your mind that you're like, hey, this is the important airport in the film.
I went to a small Bible college, and so we weren't allowed to see movies. We're not allowed to attend movies.
Oh.
Could not go to movie theaters.
Couldn't go to theaters, or couldn't even watch them on a VHS tape or a DVD, or
you could watch on a VHS tape, but we could not watch an R-rated movie, and we could not go to movie theaters because we had to avoid all appearance of evil, and so I have like a 4-year window, a gap that I just missed everything. That being said, I don't know when Home Alone came out.
Well, to give you, a little cultural reassurance, I think a lot of people didn't see a lot of films when they were in college. They were doing other stuff. I feel like a lot of people have a gap somewhere right there. Like, I don't know, I was playing a lot of foosball. I was doing a lot of other things in college.
Home Alone came out in 1990, so it was before I was in college, when I was in high school.
Okay. Did you, but even as a child, your parents wouldn't take you to a movie theater?
Yeah, we would go occasionally.
Oh. Yeah. Why? Okay.
My parents used to be this is a frustrating thing. My parents used to be the cool parents. In our like in our
Oh, I see.
in our church where
Yeah. You freeze up.
you know,
Okay. You froze up again there for a second. So if this
oh my
freezing thing is going to happen,
okay,
have you restarted that computer?
oh my heart. Like it's the big question is whether or not I'm going to get through a
A
whole
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm lagging a little bit right now.
Well, you were somewhere. You're telling us that you used to have cool parents, and then they went hardcore.
Yeah.
You lost them.
Yeah.
Well, they had their rowdy days when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And then I know
Yeah.
that
It's
story of
like
a lot of kids that grew
the
up where
rubber
their
band
parent.
got pulled and then it snapped back.
Yeah, I know that story of a lot of kids who grew up and their parents converted to Christianity. So like these are kids that grew up in a Christian family, and I met them somewhere along, and they're like, "Oh, it wasn't until I was 10 that my parents got into this church stuff, and it all changed, baby. Like it when they were born anew, and the river started to rise." Hey, Minneapolis, 82, sunny, light breezes. Going to be a lovely day. It's been very, very humid and hot, very, very
Yeah.
Houston-like. Which I guess for Donald Trump, that this is a Houston-like weather, maybe he will then say, we won't go after Houston as a city of violence because it's in Texas, but we will go after, California cities and Illinois cities and Maryland cities, but not Houston,
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah. And
We'll
I
get to that in a
think
minute.
that I think you've got a plan for Minneapolis to be on the list because Tim Walz and George Floyd and all of it. I think you got a plan on,
Yeah, it's a
you know,
blue
troops rolling through the city.
town. I mean, he's ready to go. We'll get to in a minute how the man who says he wants to back the blue says they can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to it in a minute. The man who says, set the prisoners free for their violent actions, attacking buildings in the District of Columbia, Washington. Set them free for beating police officers and vandalizing property. The largest crowd violent action in DC. He says, you are patriots. We're going to get to the fact that Donald Trump says in a press conference, we are liberating this city. From whom? You're liberating an American city from other Americans? You're conjuring up George W. Bush going to Baghdad to liberate a city in America from Americans. There's lots of words we should say about that. If you're going to put it into one word, that's an authoritarian. Who decides which Americans can have freedom and which Americans need to be liberated from other Americans? Not by peaceful actions, not by the political process, not by the rule of law, by suspending the rule of law, taking over duly elected representatives, setting aside the police force and putting in the military in Los Angeles, in Washington, D.C. One might say nearly from coast to coast. And now he's going to start squeezing the middle. He's going to militarize America. This small-handed little man who mocks soldiers and frees insurrectionists and convicted violent criminals wants to tell us about how the military is better than law and order. We'll get to that, Rob. But now, how are things in Springdale, Arkansas? Squirreled away somewhere outside of Fayetteville.
Yeah, things are good. It is muggy here as well. There was a little thunder last night. Thought we might have a little rainstorm rolling in, but didn't happen. Maybe today. Who knows? But we're back to school.
Hey.
We are back to school. Yesterday was back to school day, and so it was our last first day at Harp Elementary. We've
Speaking of
been s-
Liberation Day, the first
yeah,
day kids go back to school, that's
we have
parents.
been
Liberation Day. I take
sending.
back all that Liberation Day thing. You know who
Yeah,
were liberated from parents are liberated from
that's right.
child
That's
care
right.
duties.
We have been sending our children to Harp Elementary for a long time now, and this was our last first day at Harp
Ah,
Elementary. As Whimsy enters fifth grade, and real happy with the teacher she got, happy with her classmates,
mm, mm.
and kids from the neighborhood in her class, and
Wow.
so we are.
Did you
Whimsy walks to school and walks home because it's about a half mile away. And
uphill both ways?
no, uh, but yesterday she really wanted us to walk her to school, um, but she also wanted to walk with her friends.
Perfect.
And there were times when she was walking 10 feet in front of us, and times when she was walking 10 feet behind us. Times when she
Wow.
was literally across the street walking. And I kept
All in
saying
a
to
half
Vanessa,
mile.
yes. And yeah, oh yeah. And I kept saying to Vanessa, what are we doing here? Why are we even doing this? Because she wanted us to walk her to school, but she didn't want us to walk her to
Yeah.
school because she's a fifth grade girl.
Yeah.
And we
And
are
and Rob,
entering
you
into
have
that era
parented
of contradiction.
and you have parented people now all the way into what would be considered by nearly every culture full adulthood.
Yeah. Hmm.
And that's just parenting, right?
Yeah.
The whole time. Like, it's an odd relationship, isn't it, that the adults have? And we should get into this some other time because people
Yeah.
might know a little bit of your story. But you have an older child that is 20,
I, I'm 26.
26. Is that the one Vanessa knows about?
Vanessa knows about
Uh,
all of them.
okay.
26, 26, 24, 21,
Okay.
and 10.
Yeah. You were 16-year on different people from the 26-year-old start
Oh,
to the other. So
holy
when you're
cow.
talking about you used to have cool parents, I'd like to get those Ryerson kids together and hear a little bit about what kind of parents they grew up with. Uh,
I oh my goodness. Whimsy has a completely different set of parents than our
yeah.
other children had.
I mean, can you imagine if there was a point, I don't know, where Don Jr. ever spoke to Barron Trump, or if somehow they let Eric in the room, or if Tiffany was around, or any of the other
Who?
kids that Donald
Who?
Trump birthed and never cared for and raised, Elon Musk style. If you got those people together, I mean, Don Jr. would be like, "Oh, my dad, just a he was just flying around with Jeffrey Epstein, going off to his islands, just kind of wanting to be on professional wrestling, a really unserious man." And Barron's like, "Oh, my dad is a military political authoritarian. Wow. You had cool dad. I have a man who decided to tell the Marines to lock and load going into Los Angeles, California,
Yeah.
and who didn't call in the National Guard when his supporters were beating police officers, but did decide to do it because he saw people living on the streets when he was going to a golf outing."
Yeah. It's
That's
like
got to
a
be a
s-
confusing.
it's
What
like
was
yo.
dad like when you were a kid?
And Eric meanwhile is like,
He never
uh,
talked to me. I don't know who he is, Eric would say.
yeah,
I
well, yeah, I mean, that's Tiffany too. Tiffany's like, dad was a picture on mom's phone. Well, mom didn't even have phones probably when dad was, a picture in a photo album that mom had.
mean, as far
I,
as
w-
we
I, I
know,
would be,
I don't know.
I would be sitting. Yeah, Tiffany would be like, I would sit with my mom in the evening and watch Larry King live on CNN, and she would say to me, "Honey, That's your dad.
That's your
Whenever
dad.
when he was a guest on Larry King Live.
I'm sure when they would crawl into bed with Don and Mom and glance over and see Mein Kampf sitting on the nightstand, and they would say, "Daddy, tell me your favorite book." And he would say, "Oh, it's the Bible." And he'd say, tell me a part of the Bible." And he would say, "I don't want to get into specifics. I love it all too much. I can't possibly." I mean, look, there's no perfect families.
Oh, no.
Parents are not responsible for the outcome of their children.
Mm.
I said
That's a hot take.
oh yeah, parent. Like,
I mean, I'm not sure if which is a hotter take. You don't like movies with children, or parents aren't responsible for the outcome of their children.
Or the behavior of their children.
Mm-hmm.
I was just at a wedding. It's like ceremony weekend for me. I'm going to a funeral in a couple of hours.
Yeah, I got to tell you about this wedding I went to.
I was at a wedding over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a good chance to be together. And when these happen back to back, like literally a Sunday wedding,
mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Abby Mackay. A Tuesday funeral.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, can you wear the same outfit?
I think if you wore a dark suit to the wedding, you can. I think if you wore a shirt with flamingos on it, you can't.
I did wear a shirt with flamingos on it. And that was Sunday. And I don't have two shirts with flamingos on it. So if you're watching on the video, you do the math. Middle-aged man forgetting to shower wears same shirt 4 days in a row.
And wants to wear it to a funeral.
And thinks, hey, are we doing celebration of life, or are we doing...
Now listen, and Doug, I told you this before we started the podcast, and I just want all of the listeners, all the folks watching to know, I want Alex and Jim and John, Tony, Ian,
Susan,
and Heather. I had to get back to Heather. Okay. I had to scroll a lot to get back to Heather.
Heather Clark, you're the best.
Listen, when I die and you all gather to remember, to mourn, to commemorate, I want this very clear. I do not want a celebration of life. I want a funeral. I want you to be sad. I want you to grieve. I want you to mourn. I want there to be tears. I want there to be questions of why. Why did this have to happen?
Why so soon?
Mourn. Grieve. Funeral. If you have a celebration of life and play a Kool and the Gang song, we're gonna have a problem.
That is tremendous. Okay, Rob, we're on it. We will. You know, so this came up about the funeral that I'm going to today. Speaking to the people who are involved, it was a double funeral because sometimes these things have to happen in two states. But one of the questions about a funeral is often, does the deceased get to tell the rest of us how this thing needs to go? Like,
that's right. Yes. Yes. There's always the deceased gets to leave their preferences, their desires for how to be remembered. Yeah, that's often.
You have an entire life. You have an entire life to live to give input on how you are remembered. If you're like pushing the buttons in the final moments of the last get together,
you have sat with people on their deathbed, and they've told you,
lots of things.
This. I would like this song sung at my wedding or at my funeral. Sing this hymn, read this psalm. It's very precious to me. People give instructions all the time. The only instruction I'm giving is funeral with sadness and tears, not a celebration of life with Kool and the Gang.
I'm just saying, do you get, is it your call? Is it the dead person's call?
I believe you need to honor my wishes.
The idea that someone gets to have a wish for the behavior of people who didn't fail at life is really precious. Because if we take your plan, we're all dead. If you can't laugh at it, you should just, So you're saying you don't want a funeral?
I do not want a funeral.
Okay. All right. Okay. Can we talk about this? Rob, I put up a post yesterday evening. I don't think it's always in the best
best version of you
podcast material to read your own posts, because
or I mean
people can go read them, but
Doug,
could I?
You could be like my dear wife, who assumes I have read every one of the posts she has ever made on social media.
Oh, last night I had to have an okay Gen Xer conversation with my own wife, who is 14 months older than me, because I gripe and moan about how dumb I think Instagram is, and the interface and the rules and the reels, and you got to touch on this thing and this. Honestly, look at the energy that's coming right now. I cannot stand it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just want to pause this video because I want to. Like, oh, it's a reel. You can't pause it. Like, it's just, everything about it is so just horrible. I cannot believe I use it or anybody does. But then we went to one of the videos for her work, and she showed, and I said something about it, and then I scroll away, and she goes, "Why didn't you like it?" I had to go back and click the like. I said there should be an algorithm thing that just likes everything you put up. I should get, I should get an auto like of.
Yeah, totally.
Not possible. But if you were on Instagram and doom scrolling late at night, you may run across this one. When Trump said to us, sorry, let me start again. When we said Trump would use the military on U.S. soil against U.S. citizens, his supporters called it Trump derangement syndrome. Mm-hmm. When we said that he would capture and disappear U.S. citizens and deport them with no criminal record, they promised it would only be the worst of the worst. When we said that he would side with the January 6th police beating convicts and pardon them all, they told us he would back the blue. When we said the tariffs weren't about fentanyl, they claimed he cared about people ravaged by addiction. So when we say it will get worse, believe us. This isn't Trump derangement syndrome. It's Trump reality recognition. Raise your voice and keep raising your voice, not because all his supporters will listen, but because some will. And keeping silent only helps him. And telling the truth helps us all. We spend a lot of time saying to people, what would a Trump administration look like if the guardrails were off? And the people that were in the first administration who prevented him from doing the nonsense bullshit like this.
Yeah.
We now know.
Yeah. And I feel like I was very critical of the quote unquote guardrail people. The General Milley, the I don't Kelly, who are all these people? I was very critical of all of the quote unquote adults in the room during Trump's first term, because it felt to me like they were sellouts. They were, they told themselves a narrative about how they were going to keep the guardrails on. And, we saw what happened and we're horrified by it. And we're like, where are these guardrails you speak of? Maybe they did.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, guys. Um, I think there's an important component as we think about what Trump is doing in militarizing American cities. There's a number of lenses to look at this through. I think we have to look at it, and we can look at it through the lens of authoritarianism, through political retribution. Um, I also think there's absolutely a racial component to this. Washington, D.C. is per capita um, one of the blackest cities in America.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, Donald Trump has a long, unquestionable, and well documented history of racism. And he has been challenged by um, the mayor of Washington D.C. on multiple occasions.
Right.
Mayor Bowser,
Bowser. Mm-hmm.
yeah, who is a black woman, challenged by her on multiple occasions. He has been humiliated, um, and this is his opportunity to once again exert his
Mm-hmm.
racist
Yep.
muscle against people that he hates, despises, looks down on. And the idea, Doug, as you were describing earlier, the idea that he's like in his limo driving to play golf, and he looks out the window and sees
Mm-hmm.
the way people have made his city dirty. And I mean, it's like it's a scene from a bad movie. It's a it's like the king in his chariot, who looks at or in his in his little, I don't know, what, a stagecoach or whatever, and looks out and you know decides he's going to burn the city down because he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like the looks of it. It's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
this guy
This guy.
is he is not just a wannabe dictator, not just a completely insecure coward. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about how, I don't know if
Yep.
we're going to talk about what he's, how he's, kowtowing to Putin
Oh
right
yeah.
now on
Yeah.
American soil.
On American soil. Yeah. Bending the knee. Maybe he can fly the Taliban back in and surrender to them like he wanted to do last time on 9/11.
He is living out. He has the power
Yes.
to live out all of his racist fantasies, and he's
Yep.
doing it on the backs of the citizens of Washington, D.C.
Yeah. And look, he started the press conference yesterday. And if you haven't seen it, don't. He started the press conference yesterday by giving people an update on the redesign of the ballroom that he's turning into some trashy looking gold plated version of Mar-a-Lago.
Have you seen the pictures of the Oval Office? Have you seen this?
Yes.
Since he met with Biden, it is like the Oval Office is being gilded over like it's one of his gaudy apartments in New York
Yes.
City.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's Hussein and Houday, Saddam's kids.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing with the thing. He thinks he treats, honestly, he treats the White House like it's a palace.
Mm-hmm.
At night, he has workers coming in and gold plating and trashing up the place in a way that's just, its Zillow value is going to just continue to descend until that renter is out. He starts the press conference talking about gilding the ballroom and then sending the military in to the area around the White House to liberate it from Americans. I know this argument doesn't go very far for very many people, but just imagine if Barack Obama had done anything close to it.
Yes. No, he
When
wore a tan suit. He wore a tan suit, Doug. He wore a
when
tan suit.
Barack Obama's wife wanted to put in a garden, these people who support Trump lost their minds. How dare she? When Donald Trump ripped out the garden and put in a parking lot of concrete,
With
like playing some
yes.
version.
Yes. Did you see that the rose garden is now the rose patio with
Yes.
tables that now have umbrellas? Have you seen the umbrellas?
No. Or are they flags? Are they American flags?
No.
Please
They
do
are
this.
the exact umbrellas that are at the tables at Mar-a-Lago.
No.
Yes.
It's okay. Every move. And I know people are like, because they say it to me, like, wow, you just can't get over this guy. And I'm like, nope. This is actually something, it's one of the little boxes of the world that I care about. Every single move. I truly, truly have been looking since Inauguration Day for a good thing the man has done. The only thing I can find is that he has said he will put presidential weight around ending the use of the penny. Something that Barack Obama wanted to do. And for the last 12 years, we haven't had enough presidential force. That's it. That's truly, I can't even give him my 2 cents of the positive he's done. One single move.
Yeah.
Everything else, truly, Rob, in my mind,
Yeah.
everything else is tainted or is about something that is just such a. Now, maybe my news feed isn't giving me the best information.
Sure.
But when he's disappearing people, starting detention centers, moving tariffs around to countries that have no fentanyl relationship to America, when he is cutting spending at the USAID, when he is hurting farmers, when he is mocking Americans, when he's sending the military in, what little glimmer of hope could we find that we're like, but on the other side, he passed a bill that's going to lower my tax. He passed a bill that's going to keep my taxes exactly as they are because I couldn't figure out how to be successful in Biden's economy, but I can figure out how to do it in Trump's economy, even though eggs are 3 times as expensive. I know there are people who think, wow, what a great job he has done.
Doug, one of my favorite things that we do on this podcast is when I send you a video that you haven't seen before and we watch you react to it live. I just absolutely love this. So we did this a few weeks ago and I sent a video and we watched you react to it of, I don't know, some Trump spokesperson. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was the press secretary, with the really nice lips.
Trump says she has really nice lips. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no comment on her lips. Claiming that Donald Trump coined the phrase peace through strength.
Yes. Nobody was saying that. He came up with that. He came up with that.
Peace through strength. Doug, is it the strong thing to do to urge your friend to give up land of their country for peace? Is it the strong thing to do to let the bully push and push and push and push and push and say, okay, just keep the lunch money you stole from me. Just keep it. Is that strength?
Yeah.
Is it strength to invite that bully onto American soil to celebrate
Mm-hmm.
his military achievements over one of your allies,
Mm-hmm.
it's not peace through strength. It is once again Donald Trump chickening out.
Yes.
Trump always
Yeah.
chickens out. He
Taco
is
every day.
he is scared of Vladimir Putin. He claimed that this war would be over the day,
Yes.
not even inauguration day. He claimed that it would be over before he was
Yeah. Yeah.
inaugurated. And here we are, 6 months, 7 months into this
7.5 months.
monstrosity, and he has no plan to end the war other than peace through surrender.
Literally
That
telling Ukraine to just give Russia what it wants.
our ally, frankly, also a country we have invested a lot of money and resources in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of think we would,
Yeah.
listen, we don't want to double down. We don't want to throw good money after bad. And listen, the money, the quote unquote money that we have given Ukraine has not been money we have given Ukraine. It's been
Right.
equipment that
Yes.
was scheduled to be um, offlined and replaced by new military equipment. And all we did was speed up that
Yeah.
process and purchase from the military contractors new equipment at a faster rate so that we could offline the old equipment and give it to the Ukraine.
Yes.
That's what we did.
Yeah, like the parents that said, you know, if you're moving into the new place, just take our couch. We'll get a new one. We were going to wait a
Yeah,
while, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Oh,
then they say,
yeah,
and by the way, could I get a receipt for that contribution that I made here?
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but we have invested much in Ukraine. And now we've invited Vladimir Putin onto
Yeah.
American soil to say, hey, congratulations, you win.
Yeah. We're going to give it to you.
Peace
The,
through surrender. The strong man who wants to deploy the American military all over the United States to get what he wants does not stand with the people who are trying to defend their own land in the Ukraine. This guy
yes.
has once again aligned himself with the dictators of the world rather than the freedom loving people across the globe. This guy,
And
this guy.
As Brenda Michelle tells us in a comment on Facebook, he also coined the phrase, you spit, we hit, saying to the National Guard, if they spit at you, you should hit them. Now, he said this to other police officers. Don't be so gentle. Don't tuck their heads under. Rough them up a little. Police brutality from an authority figure against an unarmed person is what Donald Trump wants. An authority figure sent by the United States government at the federal level, state level, county level, city level, brutalizing American citizens. You can say, oh, when they do this to the people they want to deport, they don't have a right to be here. And you can say they don't have American rights. They do, because everyone on American soil has American rights, not citizens only. These are people that he says, if you spit, we hit. Then he says to Ukraine, when they hit, you should quit. That's this guy.
Yeah.
He
Doug,
wants
he's
to
like,
beat up on American citizens and tell victims of war atrocities
yeah,
to learn when to quit.
yeah. Doug, he reminds me of like the archetypal character that is like the 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 wimpy man who gets just, you know, beat up mocked, humiliated
Yeah.
at work by his boss,
Yeah.
and then goes home and acts
That is.
like the tough guy with his
Yeah.
wife and kids. And, that's what we're seeing with Donald Trump. On the international stage, he is getting whooped by Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
He is kowtowing, he's sniveling, he's doing whatever, yes, yes, sir, may I have another?
Yes. Yes.
And then he's coming home like he's the big tough guy and he's going to clamp down on American cities. He's a fool.
Is that where I thought that word was going? Yeah. Look, and it keeps going. Continuing to support Israel the way he does and speak about developing the land in Gaza for hotels.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing he says to everyone brutalized, unless they're his criminals.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, there's a couple of men of the cloth.
Your cloth has flamingos on it.
That was always my favorite phrase. Are you a man of the cloth?
Look, I don't even know what that means.
What is tailor?
What is the etymology of that? Like, I don't even know what that means.
I'm thinking it's the stole. Somebody should look it up. I feel like Yabbits has left us, but maybe Alex, some of the deep watchers here. Can you look up where does the phrase "man of the cloth" come from? But as a couple of them. Now here, okay, the phrase "as a man of the cloth" feels like it connotes one thing. The phrase that I was about to use, "as a couple men of the cloth," that feels totally different somehow. Somehow there's loincloth in my mind. But as a couple of men of the cloths, when Jesus says to his disciples, "You've heard it said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Mm-hmm.
But I say to you, if they spit, you hit." Nope.
No. Huh.
But I say to you, if they strike you, turn the other cheek.
Mm.
Quick Bible lesson here. In early Mesopotamian culture, every failed sermon somewhere involves the phrase, in early Mesopotamian culture, in which the Hebraic community was coming into formation and putting together the way they were going to live in the world as children of Elohim. There was the need for there to be something that differentiated the Jewish culture and what we would call the Old Testament, our Jewish friends would call the Bible, from the other cultures. Other cultures had a theory of you spit, we hit. The edict that came in the Mosaic law for the Jewish community was reciprocity only. If they take an eye, you can only take an eye.
Yes.
You can't take their head. You can't take 2 feet and a liver, an eye. If they knock out your tooth, the only thing you are owed is a tooth. No more.
Right.
Vengeance in that narrative was being set aside.
Says the Lord.
Then Jesus comes along as a follower of that law and says, but even more so, not an equal repay, but a nonviolent response. If someone following the Jesus teaching were sitting around, they might say, if you spit, we change the conditions by which we're impacted by your spitting. If you're a child
that doesn't roll off the tongue
of early Mesopotamian culture, you say, you spit, we hit. If you're a 5-year-old on a playground, you might not know that when they took your bucket you were playing with, you shoved them into the sand pit. Because you're learning reciprocity. And then you're going to grow as a human being to set aside violent responses to aggression. It's a trajectory of humankind, and it's a call of religion. All of them, but specifically of Judaism and Christianity. And Donald Trump, under the banner of what he says is religious support, he reverts not from Jesus' teaching to the Mosaic Law, but to the reason the Mosaic Law had to have an idea of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You spit, we hit. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 3 in full. Take us inside the Son of God having a son and having an other son. The Son of God, Adam, and the two sons, Cain and Abel. One of the two sons, out of the three male characters in the story, Eve being the fourth character and the only woman in the story, of the two sons, 50% of them become murderers. Because they didn't like the way the Lord responded to their brother's religious offering. That's the Cain and Abel story. The offering brought to the Lord was accepted by the son, not accepted by the other. The non-accepted son kills the other one and then is banished out, sent away. That's Donald Trump's world.
Yeah.
He is Cain and Abel ridiculousness. That if you know your Bible, then the community develops and we end up with the Mosaic Law, eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Then we follow the Jesus pattern that brings us to turn the other cheek. This guy is so regressive with Russia, with Israel, with American cities and the military. Yeah. Now, you can have a whole lot of other reasons why you despise what Donald Trump is doing and his authoritarianism. He doesn't have the right to do it and all these things. And I'm there on so many of those things as well. And in addition to it, if you cared about the religious subtext of all this stuff, when your Christian or Jewish faith friends tell you he's doing what the Bible says, the most effective thing you can do, I think it's been proven out in research and personal experience, is to send them a clip of this video. Because you know what people really love? They really love when you send them videos that you think are really profound or funny or a great song, and then they have to sit there and suffer through it. So I would just say, clip this and then send that to them, because that seems to work all the time. Hey, here's a great song. I want you to listen to this great song. You just have to sit there and like, or here's a funny video that you send, like say in a chat group, and then the people in the chat group don't even respond to it. You know what I'm saying, Rob? And this is just sort of how it goes. So that's probably what you ought to do. Or you could simply say to them, seems like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth was trying to get us beyond they spit, we hit. Yeah. And then Jesus took it even a step further. And I'd prefer to live in the world that Jesus was envisioning. Yeah. Or maybe even the world that Moses was envisioning. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I felt the need to almost say the Mosaic community, because I know somebody's going to come along the way and say, well, you know, actually Moses wasn't an individual. It was a community collective that wrote the thing, and I'm going to get mansplained by the progressives. I'm aware. And I believe that too. But anyway, just to preempt the lecture. Please clip this. Thank you, Tony.
All of this happening.
We will clip it. Hang on. I got to look at the things. I got to send it to Brittany. 50 minutes. There? Holy moly. We got to go. I got a funeral to celebrate. I got a life just.
Meanwhile, the Secretary of Defense is reposting Christian nationalist clips of Pastor Doug Wilson talking about how women shouldn't have the right to vote and and gay sex should be criminalized. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has taken up a case that could very well overturn the Obergefell decision, which legalized gay marriage.
Really? They've taken that up?
Yeah. ABC News reported yesterday. Meanwhile, the economy continues to tank. Prices continue to rise. Economic uncertainty is some of its highest levels. 90% of Americans are worried about how they're going to pay for their groceries. Meanwhile, Cleveland Browns have 6 quarterbacks on their roster. So all this, like, there's so many bad, troubling things to talk about.
How's a man supposed to live at a time like these? The people cry.
6 quarterbacks on your roster? There's that old saying, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. You have 6 quarterbacks on your roster?
That's a saying?
Yeah.
How many other sayings exist in football lore that the rest of us should be? You should come up with one a week.
I will try. I will start paying attention.
Yeah. Just flip those. The other day we went to I sound like I have a busy schedule. I don't even change shirts. We went to a Billy Strings concert. He's a musician.
Yeah. Saw the pictures.
Okay. That experience there is worthy of a separate conversation that we'll have about the cultural phenom that this thing is. And if you've never heard of Billy Strings, I get it. There was an arena full of people who had, and it was trippy in the most precise use of that word. Like, I haven't seen people light up marijuana
Have you seen this article, Doug?
In years, let alone inside of a building, and it was all around us. It was like, this is bluegrass. Anyway, I won't get into the whole Billy Strings thing. We walk out of the Target Center at the same time that the Minnesota Twins baseball game had gotten out. People wearing jerseys, people carrying flyers and banners and pendants. Shelley said, "Did the Twins win?" to somebody, and they said, "No." And it dawned on me, not for one thought have I considered the Minnesota Twins since the start of the season. Never crossed my mind. I had forgotten. I didn't even forgotten. They entered nowhere. I was like, oh yeah, we have a baseball team. Then across the street from that theater was another theater called the State Theater, where there was a podcast going on the marquee that said the LOL Live Podcast. I have no idea who that is. And then 7th Avenue, which is First Avenue's or 7th Street entry at First Avenue, Prince's Club, had a big thing up about a band playing there. And I thought, I don't know who that is. There's a bunch of people in a Billy Strings concert that don't know anything about baseball. And the baseball people don't know who Billy Strings is. The people at 7th Avenue might not know who the LOL Podcast Live thing is. All these people are within the same space downtown Minneapolis, milling about with each other, having no idea what brought other people there. I become very attuned to that experience in America. That's how America is.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, you care about this. There are a bunch of other people in your life who don't. That doesn't mean they are morally absent. It just might mean this isn't in their purview. This is where we're going to have our evangelical moment as the men of the cloths. Your job is to reach them. Go ye into all of the world and make disciples of the people who don't know that this is going on, and bring them along with you. You are their conduit. You are the lights of the world and the salt of this earth.
Okay.
There is a better way.
Doug, I know.
Shall we pray?
You've got to go to a funeral, but I just want to hit you real quick with this.
Hit me with your best shot. which Pat Benatar now won't sing live in concert because of the connotations of it. But anyway, hit me with your best shot.
Not bad. New York Times article today. I'm going to just read a couple of paragraphs to you.
Please.
On a Tuesday morning in September 2023, in a medical clinic just outside Tijuana, Mexico, Rick Perry, the former Republican presidential candidate, energy secretary, and Texas governor, lay down on a mattress, put on an eye mask, and soon began to believe that he was hurtling through space. Objects flew past him. Some of them appeared to resemble Maya hieroglyphics. He saw an arm reaching out for him, and attached to it was a figure with horns. "Satan, get behind me," he heard himself say. The figure instantly disappeared. Mr. Perry's hallucinations, induced by the powerful psychotropic drug ibogaine he had taken about 45 minutes before putting on his eye mask, continued for more than 12 hours. The experience was an ordeal. He vomited intermittently and lost much of his body coordination. It took all of Wednesday to recover, but on Thursday morning, Mr. Perry recalled, in describing his experience publicly for the first time, "I woke up very clear-headed, with this very warm feeling in my body. I was as calm and as happy as I've been in memory." Since that experience, Mr. Perry, 75, a social conservative, has emerged as a leading champion of ibogaine as a potential treatment for brain trauma, addiction, and cognitive decline. He was the unlikely speaker at the Psychedelic Science Conference in Denver in June. And it goes on and on.
God save us. God save us from the psychedelic trippers. Or go to a Billy Strings concert. I don't know.
Rick Perry.
Do you think he could remember all 6 of the federal agencies he wanted to disband after that? Look, okay. What is John Boehner? What is John Boehner, former Speaker of the House, doing now? Oh yeah, he's running a cannabis company. What is Rick Perry, former presidential candidate and governor of Texas, doing? Being a leading advocate for psychedelics. Where is good old conservative America?
Barry Goldwater, we need you now.
Try to think of the All in the Family thing song. Oh, the good old days. Oh, Rob. Okay, everybody, hang in there. I'm sorry, I have to go celebrate life. 1. You come to find out at funerals, you don't get to just celebrate life. You got to focus. You got to have a name.
You got to Doug, give us one.
I'm gonna get in big trouble.
One sweet memory of the dearly departed.
I'm a tangential connection to this person. I'm going as a support to a support to a support. So,
which is why you feel free to wear a flamingo shirt to a funeral.
I'm quite sure that I'm going to be met with opposition when I ascend the stairs.
Your wife is going to say you're getting changed, right?
Yeah, I got to go hop in the shower. We really got to go. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being part of the podcast. You might pick up a couple of specials this week. Hey, remember, whatever you do, vote common good. See you. Bye.